view. Let me quickly take you through the technical picks that have been sent to us by Jignesh. We've got a couple to tell you about. The first one is a sell call on Berger Paints with a target of 359. The stock is currently trading at 364. The stop loss on this trade should be around 367. This is a trade that you can consider for the next 3 days. The second is also a sell call, this time on Apollo Hospitals with a target of 1,393. Stock currently trading about 1% and 0.7%, 1.7% lower at 1,434. This is a time frame rather you can consider is 2 weeks, and a stop loss on this trade is 1,478.
Okay, so those are some technical calls. Let's get going and start addressing our viewer queries. I'm going to take a technical query first, which comes in from Saurabh Pathak. He's bought 1,000 shares of PNC Infra. Let's just pull up that stock. His buying price is somewhere about 219, and of course the time horizon is short term. He wants to know if he should look to hold on to this position or he should book losses, because the current price is below his buy price of 219 at about 181. Jignesh, this has been an outperformer at least for this calendar year. We've seen the stock giving you returns of about 20 to 22%. So if the stock's trending lower currently at 180, somebody's buy price is at 220, what should be the ideal strategy?
I think ideal strategy for this stock is going to be hold this stock, just because this stock has taken a support from 200-day simple moving average. And I think from a long term, this counter is forming higher tops and higher bottoms. And the way it has formed higher tops and higher bottoms, it has always taken off from its support line. And recently it has taken off from the level of around 165 somewhere. I think 170 is the apt stop loss to keep for this investing. And one can eye for 200 as a target in coming I think 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay, let's
about 15%. Pull up the stock price of HDFC Life. The next query comes in from Bharat Bhushan. Remember, the insurance companies have been giving you good returns even in a volatile market. So Bharat Bhushan has bought 1,000 shares of the company at 430 for short term, and what he wants to know is whether he should look to book profits or he should hold on to expect higher levels even from the current market price. Jignesh, what would you advise? Sitting on profit, should he be booking the profit, or he can wait out for more upside and put a stop loss?
I think, of course, he can book the stop loss, because the way the stock has outperformed the overall indices and the way it has gone above, I think putting a stop loss for some of the stock, I think it's a good strategy. But at the same time, I think for some of the stock, he should also go ahead and book some profit, because currently he's sitting on a profit, and the way stock has outperformed, I think very shortly it can have a resistance, and recently it has seen resistance from around 560 some levels. So I suggest viewer to at least book profit for 50% of his stocks. Currently stock is trading at 536. For the remaining stock, he can have a stop loss at a place as 520, because viewer is looking for a short term, and 520 is a apt stop loss for a short term strategy.
All right. Let's take a next query on Escorts. Shubham Garg writes to us. He's asking if the stock can be bought at current levels for short term. Remember, auto stocks have seen some bit of recovery, and especially for Escorts, I believe it's recovered from those lower levels of 430 to 530. In fact, last week itself, the stock surged about 10%. Jignesh, looking at the recent recovery from the bottom for Escorts, would you advise someone to buy at current levels for short term?
I think for short term, I'm skeptical to go ahead and say it as a buy, just because stock is trading at around 530 some levels, and it is the same level in last month, about 10-12 trading sessions. These levels were acting as a resistance. Currently, stock is trading around same levels. I think if stock can close above 540, I would go ahead and say that stock is forming an inverted head and shoulder pattern. But for now, I think wait and watch is something that I would suggest. Above 540, one can go ahead and buy it for the target of 600 with the stop loss of 525.
All right, he has got a question for you, Jignesh. Unfortunately, the two counters that he has chosen have very low volumes. If you can provide a view, please do so. Kalyani Investment, which is the holding company for the Kalyani Group, is currently trading around 1,712. As of now, not doing very much. In fact, the volumes are extremely low on this counter today. How do you rate that? If not this, you can also give us a view on Goldiam or Goldiam International.
Right. I can comment on both of them. The first one, as he said, Kalyani, I think investment. For some reason, I think not for this counter, but the other counter in the same space, which is also a small scale, which is also a small cap company, and I'm bullish about is BF investment. The stock that he is asking is trading at 712 and with a dismal volume, so I cannot suggest buy. And it has to go about at least to 2000 some levels. Before that, I cannot suggest buy for Kalyani investment, but for BF investment, I think current level is a good level to buy with a stop loss 5% below the current price. The second level that he has asked, the second counter that he has asked is Goldiam International. I think it is a completely a viable counter. The way it has outperformed the indices, I think it can be bought with current levels with the stop loss at 105. The stock is approaching to its resistance. Resistance is quite far. 130 should be the target, and that is also the resistance. For short term, 130 is the level where viewer can go ahead and book his profit.
Okay, a lot more queries. This one comes on Adani Power. Jignesh, I'm going to come to you. Abhijit has been holding at levels of about 63, and he wants to know what levels can he watch out now from here on?
I think stop loss should remain at 60 some levels, because from there onwards stock has taken off. The target should be 72. I am pretty much positive for this counter. It has formed a flag pattern, so I think viewer can hold.
Okay.
And HDFC Limited, if yes, what should be the target and stop loss?
I think for HDFC, I would suggest current level is buyable. Stop loss should be placed at 2023. It is a short-term outlook for buy, and target should be 2115.
Okay.
Jignesh, would you recommend buying into oil sensitives which are trading lower, like Asian Paints, Pidilite, for short term?
No, both of them for me is a short sell counter. I think every higher level on both this counter you said should be sold into, because targets are still 3 to 4% low in coming week.
All right.